Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Rocha Kodash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Aharawan Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den Camp, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. Shalom to the sincere Akim around the four corners of this earth, pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Harab Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I'll be coming out with another lesson and it's on this article. Yet again, I read this article about a day ago and I saved it and I came back to it and it says here, it says China increases scrutiny of rare earth metal. It's like a rare earth magnets with new tracking system. And the thing about it, China is the #1 country in the world with the most rare earth, we'll say metals, minerals, or whatever. They have a lot. Their phones and stuff is made over there. Magnets, neodymium magnets. It's a lot of stuff made over there in China. And they have the most. They have about, if I'm not mistaken, they account for 69% of the global production of rare earth, we'll say rare earth minerals, you know, which would include metal and all these ones you see right here, gallium and germanium and all them, you know. But nonetheless, China was to up or decide to do something, let's say, oh, we done. We don't give out our rare earth metals no more. You know, that will mess up a lot of countries and it would definitely destroy Babylon America because automobiles use their rare earth metals. It's a lot of things that uses rare earth material, or should I say minerals. Rare earth, rare meaning it's not found anywhere. You can't just find it all in just laying about all over the place. It's usually in one place, and that place happens to be the land of Moab. But let's continue. Yeah, I'm finna just start. This is the national tracking system. So China done came up with a tracking system about where their rare earth minerals go and who they go to, and making restrictions, which is gonna cause problems. Mainly for Babylon America, but the other nations, they'll get on board. But for Babylon America, this place is slowly circling the drain. But let's continue. It says national tracking system, the national tracking system, Salakia, which went into effect last week, requires producers to submit extra information online, including trading volumes and client names, said two sources familiar with the matter and another briefed by those involved. This is the world's largest rare earth magnet supplier and exporter, China, in early April, imposed export restrictions on 7 medium to heavy rare earth elements and several magnets, requiring exporters to obtain licenses. And this is nothing but a strategic move by Moab against Edom because of Edom's stupidity. It says delays getting approval have upended supply chains for automakers, see, semiconductor companies and others that goes into solar panels and all that stuff, with global automakers already beginning to stop some production lines as reserves run out. And it's just being showed that Babylon America does not have the power anymore. The power does not rely, it's like it does not reside here in Babylon America. It is over. No more power. Sit thou in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Meaning get over there in the corner somewhere, mind your business. This ain't your part of the show no more. But let's continue. It says Beijing unveiled high-level plans to establish an information tracking tracing system for rare earth products last June. But there had been no implementation until last week, according to the source briefed on the matter. It says the added level of scrutiny suggests that China's export controls on rare earths and the associated magnets, where it has a near monopoly on production, could be a permanent feature for the products. It says there have been hopes in the U.S. and elsewhere that this would be removed as part of a trade truce agreed in Geneva last month. Nah, this probably gonna stay. It says in previous cases where China has imposed export curbs on metals, exports have tended to slowly rebound after the imposition of restrictions as exporters apply and receive licenses. So they're just doing what they're supposed to do. Babylon America is just want to circumvent and go around and bully and run over everything. Yeah, let's continue. It says our current hypothesis is that China would continue its export control mechanism on rare earths as it is an ace card for China to hold. Tim Zhang, founder of Singapore-based Edge Research. Says Beijing's long-term target is to track the whole rare earth production chain, not just magnets, strengthen its control over the sector, and crack down on smuggling, illegal mining, and tax evasion. Yeah, sound like Edom. Sound like he cracking down on Edom. But let's continue. It says, according to a fourth source who has also briefed on the matter. So there you go. China is cracking down, making it more difficult to achieve these rare earths, we'll say minerals or material, without proper licenses and going through the correct channel. But why did this happen? Babylon America. That's why it happened. The king of Babylon with his trade war. But I'm gonna read two scriptures because this is what it made me think of as I was reading this article yesterday. This is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. It says, "Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled." So woe, this devil, he spoiled when nobody spoiled him. I mean, he went through rape, rob, murder, and pillaging, taking stuff that didn't belong to him. So it says, "Woe to thee that spoilest and was not spoiled." When these other nations wasn't running up on Edom or running up on this devil and his power structure or his countries, wherever he at, taking stuff from him. When they wasn't doing anything of the sort like that to him, this devil was going around the four corners of the earth doing this to other nations. That's why it says here, "Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee." So this devil going around the four corners of the earth dealing treacherously with these nations and people, when these nations and these people did not deal treacherously with him. Continuing, it says, "When thou cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled." So when this devil ceased, makes an end or stops his spoiling, taking things that don't belong to him, when he stops that, guess what? That's when these other nations are going to do the exact same thing to this devil. When he stops spoiling, these nations are going to spoil this devil. When this devil stops stealing, these nations are going to start stealing from this devil. It says, "And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee." So when this devil decides to start dealing honestly and dealing truly, that's when these other nations are going to start dealing dishonestly and dealing untruthfully with this devil. Thus saith Yahweh B'Hashim Yahushua. And let's say, again, trying to say, oh, they implement something new, and it caused a real lack. Well, for us in the truth, that understand what the will of the Lord is and been serving him, this is what the Lord tells us, and this is what we understand. And it is very much applicable now, and it will be applicable in the future. This is verse 6 of Isaiah chapter 33. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh, is his treasure. So wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of the times when things really start to go left or go awry. The wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, knowing what the Lord's will is, knowing and understanding that he spoke of these things to come. The bad time, the evil time, the day of destruction, martial law, Jacob's trouble. Well, wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of the time, just like it is our stability right now, because we know and see and understand that these things that we see in these articles and on any news media or platform, we know that things are only going to get worse. And the wisdom and the knowledge of the Heavenly Father is going to be our stability, is our stability right now and in the future. And the strength of salvation. That's how we know. And it says, and the fear of the Lord, what is his treasure? The fear of the Lord is our treasure. Fear, honor, and respect, and actual fear. You need to read the scriptures. If you don't fear the Heavenly Father, he is not to be played with. He is not to be played with at all. Don't play with fire. They say you're going to get burned. You play with fire, you get consumed. Burned away to nothing. But wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times yet again. And it's going to be the strength of our salvation. That's what's going to keep us in the faith. That's going to keep us believing, because the Lord is going to show his power to his people, especially to those that turn to him. So again, it was just a little short lesson. I ain't going to say quick, a little short lesson. But yeah, when this devil decide he's going to stop and deal right, that's when these other nations are going to start dealing wrong with this devil. And with that, shalom.